Hey guys, Sean here. The last thing you want to do is to fall for these traps when stacking silver. There are many new stackers coming into the community, and I constantly see the same mistakes being made. Some are really obvious, while others just fly under the radar for months or even years. I personally have committed these sins, and oh boy, have I lost thousands of dollars in the process and almost quit investing in silver at one point. And in this video, I want to talk about the 9 deadly sins of silver stacking and why even committing just one could cause you to get blown out of the water. I believe silver will continue to get more popular and it's a great investment, but you gotta know how to protect yourself. Let's dive in. Now, the first trap, and it is one that all of us has committed before, and that is chasing the hype train and buying silver even when the price skyrockets. Don't lie, guys, I know you have done it. Hell, I think I've done it more than I can count on two hands. The thing about silver, it is really easy to get caught up in the hype, especially when you hear talks of silver going to the moon, right? And how the big silver squeeze will cause the price of silver to fly up next week. And if you hear things about $50 silver by end of the year or even end of the month, and if you plow all your money in, guys, you have just chased the prices and you are about to get slaughtered. We all know the way to make money is to buy low and sell high, but that is actually really counterintuitive, right? Our brains are actually wired to suck in those feel good emotions and buy in when prices are rising high. When we see a dip in silver for like 20%, we instantly believe that it will fall lower and we kind of hesitate to pull the trigger, right? But when a rise of 20% happens, suddenly we are all hyped up, rushing down to our local dealers or making orders online for a few hundred ounces, right? We are fearful of missing out on the rise and we are afraid when prices tank. It's really natural, right? And that's why I believe dollar cost averaging your way into silver is perhaps the smarter method and helps you smooth out the volatility of the market, right? You just have to set aside an amount of money every month and make your regular purchases like nothing has ever happened, right? Sure, if prices dip, you can buy a bit more. If prices fly to the moon, maybe you can buy less. And that's why it's better not to lump sum invest into silver at a single time, right? You might get lucky once, maybe you make more profits more than usual, but eventually you'll make a wrong call and then your entire investment will be in the red, right? That's not a very good feeling to have. So the key here, guys, is to really keep your emotions in check and make silver stacking more of a discipline than a trip to the casino. Now, the next trap is also something to do with being overeager when investing into silver. I get it, there are a lot of shiny coins and awesome looking bars in the market, but not everything is a worthy buy, guys. When I first started out, I was getting American Silver Eagles from 2014 all the way to 2019. It was the first coin I was introduced to, and don't get me wrong, it is a beautiful coin, but the physical premiums on it today are ridiculous. We are talking about 30 to even 40% premiums on American Eagles compared to other coins like the Maples that just go for around 15 to 20% premiums, right? And it is significant. For the same amount of $500, I can either get 18 silver Maples or 13 silver Eagles. That's a whole 5 ounces of silver difference. And at the end of the day, when you sell, it is not a guarantee that you will get back the premiums you paid upfront. And that's why I prefer lower premium silver. Having 5 more ounces means more guaranteed profit when it comes time to sell. There are also other types of high premium silver that you shouldn't be buying if you're new to stacking. This includes the kookaburras, big chunky silver coins, and limited edition silver like this year's Year of the Tiger coin from the Perth Mint, right? Sure, they look cool, but the only reason why I personally have them is for this channel and making YouTube videos. If you're a pure silver investor and you want the most profit possible, then you want to stick to lower premium coins like the Australian Kangaroo, the British Britannias, and of course, the Canadian Maples. Remember, premiums can always change over time, so it kind of pays to monitor the physical silver market as well. Alright, so the third silver trap is buying too big of a denomination such as 100 ounce bars or even 1,000 ounce big COMEX bars, right? I think all this comes down to the point of saving on the premiums, which can really get huge the smaller the size of your silver coin or bar. I totally understand the incentive to get more silver ounces for your dollar, but there will come a point of diminishing returns when you will find it harder to sell your silver stack when the time comes, right? It's much easier to liquidate a 1 ounce coin than a big 100 ounce bar, and that is something that you need to consider. It is true that you will get more ounces when you get a big bar, and I have always advocated for paying as little premium as possible. But if your entire stack is just filled with monstrous 100 ounce bars, you might be in trouble if you need to sell them fast. I think it's best to have a mixture of coins and bars so that you have the flexibility to really liquidate your stack easily, right? Personally, around half of my stack consists of 1 ounce coins or bars, and the other half is a good mixture of 10 ounce bars, 1 kg bars, and I just have a few 100 ounce monsters. Now, if you're starting out, I think it's good to stay within the 1 ounce to 10 ounce region to get your feet wet. Plus, it really helps with a dollar cost averaging strategy. And once you feel more familiar with silver, then by all means, get those monster 100 ounce bars that you can also use as the ultimate paperweight. Now, not shopping around is another mistake I see most amateur silver stackers make. While every dealer more or less would stock the same types of silver, you can really find great deals if you look around, right? I'm talking about 50% off the premium or even near the spot price of silver. The thing is, you never know the exact situation of each particular dealer, right? Sometimes they get caught buying too much silver and now they need to clear their inventory for more cash flow. Maybe it's to pay rent or maybe it's to pay their employees. Other times they might be taking a bet that the market might tank. So it's better for them, in their opinion, to quickly sell off their silver now and buy back lower down the road. We won't really know for sure what's happening, what's going on behind closed doors, so it's best to just look around for the best deals, right? Sometimes it can be an online dealer that has the best rates, other times it will be your local coin shop that sells the lowest. So take a few minutes and look around the different options. Almost half the time when I buy silver, I seem to stumble upon good deals, and I'm sure that if you look hard enough, you'll be able to find them too. Now, the fifth trap, and this is a really important one that I want to emphasize on, and that is not understanding the silver market and not doing enough research, right? It is the same thing as randomly picking stocks and investing into them, blindly buying without knowing anything about the company, what they sell, their competitors, and their future plans. And just because you hear me or anyone else on YouTube say that silver has long term potential, doesn't mean it is a good buy for you. You need to understand what affects the price of silver, such as the interest rates, supply and demand, monetary stimulus, and if all these terms seem alien to you, then you have some homework to do. Now, even if silver might be a good buy today, there could be factors that could suddenly cause the price of silver to go down. And the last thing you want to do is to buy too much silver when it is slipping into a bear market, or conversely, avoiding silver when there are signs of showing that it is gaining momentum. So, I really recommend looking back into the history of silver and understanding the events that led to all those big silver spikes and crashes, and really educate yourself more on the topic, right? There are so many moments in history that you can check out, such as the Hunt brothers trying to corner the silver market in the 1980s, the recent Reddit silver squeeze in 2021, and silver's rise to $50 after the housing crisis, right? You need to learn from history if you want to succeed in the future. And the next trap is something that I have personally done in the past, and that is investing too much into silver. You know the saying, too much of anything can be a bad thing, and I think that really applies to silver stacking as well. As much as I love silver and why I believe it holds a permanent place in my portfolio, you don't want to be too overweight in it, right? I've heard of friends going 40% and even 50% into silver, and I think that is a little dangerous. If you look at the price action of silver over history, you can see that it isn't a smooth ride like the stock market that rises 5 to 7% every year. it is always a violent spike up triggered by some big event and then a correction down. Then it just lays dormant, gathering energy for the next big spike again. And that is why, while I understand silver is a great savings mechanism for us, you need to diversify into other asset classes as well. Whether that is some dividend paying stocks or real estate that you can rent out, it's always good to hold other investments that can counter the biggest weakness of silver. And that is, silver doesn't pay any income or dividends, right? In fact, if you have other investments, you can take the cash generated and buy into silver when the price is stagnant and not moving. In that sense, you can, accumulate silver for free in a sense without depleting your capital. And that, I think, might be the better way to stack long term. Now, the next stacking trap is not having an exit plan. It really warms my heart to see more and more stackers join the community and even more casual investors talking about silver. But at the same time, it is equally scary seeing people just blindly stacking to the moon. The thing is that silver is an investment and it does protect your purchasing power. However, if your end goal is to see your stacks of silver just pile up to the ceiling, then you might need to do some reassessment here. To me, other than diversifying my portfolio, I believe there are three main reasons why people stack. There has to be an end to your stacking, right? The first is to build generational wealth to pass down to your children, and you want your stack to outlive you. Then, yes, continually stacking year after year works. But if you eventually want to trade in your silver for another asset like a home, then you need to be tracking the silver house price ratio that tracks how many ounces you need to buy an average family home. In this case, history has shown that in 2011, it only took 5,000 ounces of silver to get a home. And that might be a target or exit point for your silver stacking journey. Or maybe you have more conservative goals and you just want to make sure that you have hard money if the world really goes to hell. As hits the fan scenario, then maybe just having 6 months of income in silver could be something that you just buy and maintain. There really is no one size fits all solution to silver stacking, so this is something very personal that you need to ask yourself. And once you get this clear, your silver stacking journey will get much easier. I can promise you this. Now, this is perhaps the biggest trap that will cause many silver stackers to lose faith in stacking and even in humanity itself, and that is shopping for your silver on eBay. Look, I know you can find awesome deals on clothes, toys, and gadgets on eBay, but for the love of God, don't buy silver there. There are many unscrupulous sellers on eBay that scam people for a living by selling fake silver, right? It is their life's calling to take your money and give you fake silver. And for that reason, this is why I advocate buying silver from a local dealer. At least you can test the silver on the spot. And at least if you buy from an online dealer such as AppMax or SD Bullion, they have a good reputation and have done millions of sales that they can count on. So the trust somewhat is there. But eBay is a whole other creature, right? It's a different animal. You can't verify anything until the silver reaches your home. And there have been so many reports of everything from fake 10-ounce bars to counterfeit American silver eagles that really pisses me off. Now, the thing about eBay is that even though you have buyer protection, you probably need to go through the entire chargeback process, right? Your money is locked up for weeks and months. You need to file a dispute. The seller will claim that you're lying. You get angry and it just gets so messy, right? So it's really not worth your time or your sanity to be dealing in precious metals over eBay to try and save a few dollars here and there, right? You don't want to be the person picking up pennies in front of a steamroller. You will get squashed. Now, the final trap is only buying silver ETFs or paper silver, thinking it's the same thing as physical. Newsflash, guys, it's not the same. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. The thing about buying silver is to remove counterparty risk and holding an asset that's truly out of the financial system. There are many things that can go wrong, especially in today's world where everything is digital. A bank can get hacked, you can suddenly forget your crypto passwords, and now you don't have anything of value with you. And that's the power of having physical silver. Not only does it help protect against inflation, you can actually use it immediately during an economic downturn or when something bad happens to you. I believe that as the world gets more chaotic, I really think that holding physical silver is the priority. Then maybe you can get into ETFs if you want to trade or avoid the premiums, right? Another reason is that if the ETF doesn't hold the silver that they claim, you could actually be left with nothing, or your ETF shares will be worth less in value, right? You won't have this counterparty risk when you just go physical. I believe that silver premiums over time will just continue to rise when more people eventually pile into silver and just due to inflation in general. Premiums today are easily double of what they were 5 to 6 years ago, and if I knew better, I would have gotten more physical back then. So there you have it, guys. I believe silver stacking is going to be a rewarding journey, and at the end of the day, it's really more about wealth protection and holding your money outside of the financial system. This is not a get rich quick scheme. I want us all to stack in a sustainable and smart way without believing all the hype that's floating out there, right? You will make some mistakes along the way, and that is alright. We all live and learn. But if you can avoid these 9 deadly traps, you'll be leagues ahead of the average stacker who's probably burning away thousands of dollars without realizing why. So, what are the biggest silver stacking traps you've fallen for? How are you stacking silver today? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe for more gold and silver videos. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you soon.